Hey everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Empire Madness. There's a ton of activity going on, and we are fortunate enough to be joined by two guests today. First up, we have Chris Iglesias, who's our Director of Field Operations over the West Coast, and best known for his innovation and the OG of Empire Madness. Then we have Lee Hatley, who's our Director of Field Operations over the East Coast, or better known as the K-Dub Wrangler. We got a lot going on today, so let's saddle up. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks, Kate. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Chris, you've been in this space for a long time. You just hit your year mark at Empire. What have you seen the biggest differences in this last year?
Wow, that's a really good question. So over the last year, I'd have to say that it's been extremely fast-paced. It's came with a lot of challenges and a lot of rewards. I've just seen the company grow and develop as management, leaders, and employees, and see them go through the ranks. And it's a blessing to be here, and I'm really looking forward to the future.
Talk to us about some of those challenges that you mentioned.
So growing as a new company, of course it comes with its challenges of just trying to find the right personnel, putting the people in the right places, procedures, SOPs, technology, and our CEO and our COO and everyone in between has done a great job of developing and getting those assets for us.
Awesome. And Lee, you've been in the industry for over a decade and have a lifetime experience of ass kicking. Talk to me about some of those challenges that you face specifically for the East.
Well, there's not a lot of challenge in ass kicking because that's natural talent.
Sure.
But
for some people.
The challenges in solar for the East are, finding the right people that fit the mold, the culture for Empire. We're more than just installers and electricians here. We're craftsmen. So this is our trade, this is our passion, and that's what separates us from everyone else. It's a craft for us.
I love that. What fits the mold for you?
It's really just that passion and hard work and sense of ownership for each person in each role, and taking what they do serious and really caring about the homeowners.
So what fits the mold for you in the West?
So the mold in the West, we have a group of great individuals, and what they're able to do to work outside of their box and their realm and to go into other departments and help out, whether it be from a dealer related all the way down to a PC and the coaching that they provide, they just always want to help. And that's what makes all the people in the West extremely special and what they do every single day.
And we've seen that firsthand. I mean, you mentioned help. There was a huge push for that when all the power outages happened. We saw everything from your crews cutting wood for fires to physically going and pulling trucks out of ditches, which I know you had some firsthand experience it is.
That was very exciting times. Our installs they slowed down in that time naturally, just because of the disaster that happened in that market. But everybody came together. They actually met at my house, and we started cutting firewood right then and there. And we partnered with a few of the churches within the city, and we distributed that firewood all around the Dallas-Fort Worth area within 60-mile radius. So it was great. And regarding the truck, that's really interesting. We did have a team of 3 people that went out and hooked up to the truck and pulled it out and got it back. But that's a topic that we don't really bring up too much.
Yeah. It's hard when all that stuff happens and when disasters happen, but it is cool to see, something Lee, you mentioned about the care that we have for people and the care for our work. But I think it goes beyond, installing glass on the roof. It's about taking care of those customers, and those customers are our community. So I think it's powerful to see what you guys did in that circumstance. So Lee, with that decade of experience in the solar industry, what do you feel like makes Empire different than other players in the space?
That would be going back to sense of pride, ownership, and I know culture's a word thrown around a lot, but it's taken serious here, and that is truly the difference between past companies, big and small. Every employee here really has a voice, and empowerment is how we live every day.
Are there things that you do to help enable that voice or enable that sense of ownership?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. With Chris and I and John Hard, we're trying to create actual leaders here, not managers.
Yeah.
So we take that role serious, that we're teaching, whether it be electricians, installers, branch managers, how to be better in the industry, but also, better in life.
Yeah, better people.
Yeah. So we take teaching very serious here.
I imagine similar for you, Chris, in the West, making sure that they feel empowered, making sure they feel like there's a path for leadership. Because I think there is a huge difference between being a manager where you feel like you're, writing tasks and checking off a list, and then feeling like a leader where you have people under you that you're responsible for, or even just your teammates. Is there that same sense of ownership for you guys over in?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Every day we have a call with our teams, and it overlaps East and West, and it's continual development, and that comes to leadership, management, and just as an employee and a person. We talk about it every single day. We push that forward, and we reward them for that as well.
Yeah, and I think the rewards are a huge part. I mean, obviously Empire Madness was a really big push that we wanted to get on this year, and I think people are excited about it. I know it's been fun for HQ and everyone here to be able to see these crews and the work that they put in. We know it's not easy, but I think it's cool to be able to reward them and enable that sort of sense of leadership. Let's talk a little bit more about Empire Madness. Where did this idea come from? Was there a reason why we did it this year specifically? I know you guys were the brainchild behind it, right?
Yeah, that was many months ago. That was myself, Aaron Gardner, John Hart, and Lee, just all on calls and just kind of throwing stuff against the wall, see if anything sticks. And we're all very, very competitive.
Yeah.
And this was like in the middle of football season. We're like, what can we do for our guys? What are we going to do? And from a national level, we threw this out on the table. And from where it's come from then to today is amazing. And the guys getting into it and looking in the offices, the PCs, the market managers, everybody, how excited they are about it. It just makes it that more appealing just to keep doing this year over year. And we tried to implement it last year. Timing wasn't right when we tried to implement it, but now it's up and running, and we're really looking forward to see who wins this challenge.
It's going to be really cool to see for sure. Are you guys pumped about it too?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you feel like it's affected the culture? I mean, we've talked a lot about culture. I know that word is thrown around at every company, but I think we do take it seriously. We want them to feel like they're a part of something and that their work is valued, and I think this has a huge part to play in that.
Yeah, from headquarters to the field, you can just feel the vibe,
Yeah.
the buzz. It's out there, and people are constantly talking about it. Week over week, they check the scoreboards to see where they're at, and they want that continual push. So that helps from all the way from the office to getting glass on a house, to push those jobs faster and get those incentives and those rewards to be a part of a team.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of teams, do you feel like there are teams that we should have our eyes on at this point? I mean, obviously your Texas guys are killing it, but
yeah, taking 1 through 4 is no small feat, and watching Houston has been very, very, very cool because they're one of our first branches in Texas, and they started out of the gates not doing so well, and they've just been steadily climbing the ranks with new leadership and management down there, and I'm really interested to see where they land at the end of this.
Yeah, for sure. What about your guys?
Yeah, I mean, we've got Nick and Patrick's teams out of Colorado. They're leading it for the East, but I want to keep pressure on everybody the same.
Yeah.
That's part of the craft, the trades, and that pride is everybody wants to win.
Right.
Bracket or not.
Yeah.
But the bracket definitely takes it up a notch.
Well, I think anyone could win at this point. Yeah, we've got some top teams and some top contenders, but at this point, there's always room for upsets. Do you guys feel like there's any of your teams that we should keep our eyes on for those potential upsets?
Well, I don't know about anyone in specific, but there's areas that I'm seeing teams aren't as high in the bracket right now, but as the months are changing, the market's changing, we're getting into warmer months, we're gonna start seeing more jobs fall through and get more glass on house. So honestly, at this point, anybody that's in the top 15 has a chance to win this thing.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely the seasons changing is gonna make a huge difference, but I also think permitting offices, jurisdictions, lightening up as far as how quickly we can get permits is also going to be changing. So
yeah, it's going to be cool to see it, just the increase of volume. And this, I mean, their effort has been insane these last little bit. And I know that's just going to keep going as more jobs become available and things become a little bit easier to get those jobs through. But yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yep.
So let's dive into that bracket and see what's going on. Our bye round is over. Congrats to all the teams who moved forward. We wanted to start off with our key matchup. Arizona's Alpha took the Utah Solar Gurus 208-92. Awesome to see their progress. Congrats on the win. Our closest battle was between the Utah Mandalorians and California's Triton team. What looked like a victory for the Mandos quickly got overturned with one last day of 29 mods for Triton. That brings us to our key matchup for round one. These two teams barely missed our top 6 in the seeding round, so we knew we'd be seeing big things from them in the bye round. And there was only a 6 mod difference in their winning scores. It's going to be a close fight for sure, and one to keep our eyes on. For those who didn't get the first victory, remember to check out the consolation bracket to see this week's matchups and how you can get back into it. It's definitely not over for you. With prizes now on the line and our biggest teams up to bat, it's about to get wild. Stay on top of your game and keep up the great work. So with Q1 now under our belt, what are some of those specific big wins that happened in both your regions? Chris, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So just on the west side itself, we're opening up San Antonio, which is it's huge for Texas.
Yeah.
So that's going to add to be its 4th branch underneath Brett Martin, which he's done a great job managing the state. There's other branches we're currently looking at that will probably fade a little bit into Q2, but for Q1, that one's going to be great for the state of Texas and for the company.
Awesome. What about you, Lee?
Just recently opened up Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
So new state, got some new team players as far as branch managers, ROMs throughout the Midwest, Florida. So just strengthening that team, and of course, like Chris had mentioned, looking in some other states. The competitive nature, I want to open them as soon as I can. And
Yeah. See who can open the most states first.
Yep,
huh?
exactly.
With all this growth happening, what kind of talent you guys looking for? How does that work for you?
I think I'm going to go back to, the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Guys that take it serious. That this is a trade and it's a specialized trade. And they want to grow within the industry and they want to help grow the industry. And that's what we're doing here is essentially changing the solar industry by making it better, more efficient.
Yeah.
People that want to grow also within Empire. We see that a lot. We're just discussing it, moving branch managers or other employees throughout offices throughout the country, or even promoting from within. That's what we want to do
move
first.
them up. Yeah.
That's why we take teaching so serious here, so we can move people up within.
Yeah, so they're not just feeling stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I think that's one of the most important things for any employee, is just to feel like they have a path of growth, to have a trajectory that they can hit.
Definitely.
And that's huge here. I mean, we have it. We see the growth. The growth is not going to stop. We have grown exponentially last year. Specifically, even through the pandemic, it was huge to see. You talked about the talent moving up within the company. Do you have any examples of that happening recently?
Yeah, definitely. We have Mark Scupian.
Oh,
just
Mark.
Recently went to Texas to help Chris open a branch there. And he actually came over from more of the oil industry.
Okay.
And we put him as a junior installer so he could learn, the field
The trade.
aspect.
Yeah,
the trade. Get in the trenches with the guys. And then once he was at a comfortable spot, we moved him to Minneapolis from Chicago, where he took over that branch and really helped, build that market for us. And through that, there were more opportunity in Texas. So he wanted to move closer to family, which in turn, I was able to promote Chad Priestley in the branch manager position, who was in the field manager position below that and an installer before that.
Dang.
So yeah, we take it serious.
Yeah.
We're gonna teach you and you're gonna fill those roles.
Yeah. And move all over if you want to.
We're building an empire.
Yeah. Hey, nicely said. So let's talk about the structure of Empire Madness a little bit. Was there a reason behind the 2-week thing? I mean, that's not a lot of time to get glass on the roof. So talk us through that.
Yeah, we talked about that for quite some time. And that was a little bit of our delay of kicking this off at first, because we wanted it to be as fair as we could across the board for all regions, right? So going into 2 weeks, that gives them a little bit larger window, because we look a lot of our business week over week. And if we can span that across 2 weeks, it really gives the branch coordinators, managers, and ROMs and everybody else in between to help develop and grow everything they can in that 2-week window to be extremely competitive from east to west, branch to branch.
Yeah, make it a little bit more attainable too, I think.
Yeah.
Make sure that they know, like, hey, we can get jobs pushed through at this time frame. So Chris, we can't have you leave the show without talking about Rancho Poquito.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us about it.
So when I first came on, they asked if something special about me, and I really don't have too many things special, but in the background, I had some donkeys walking around, and there's a few goats, and I didn't mean to have them in the picture, right?
Yeah.
Just a little miniature thing came walking up, and then so every day that I'm at home or I'm walking around and I'm just jumping on a call, you'll get some some noise in the background, and then you'll hear John Hard with his best Spanish that he can do, of talking about Rancho Piquito. You know, we don't take guests or customers, only Empire. That's it. Y'all can come over, bring the kids. We don't ride the animals, but they're up for petting, that's for sure.
So not only do you get one of the better companies to work at, all the craftsmanship, all the perks and the culture, but you can visit Rancho Piquito.
Come on by.
Well, thanks guys for being here. Thanks for being on the show. We know your time is valuable, so it was awesome to have you on and learn a little bit more about what's going on in both your regions.
No, really appreciate Cade for having us on here, and we're just really looking forward to our teams to close this year out strong.